The aluminum crutches clicked against the polished floor of Camp Pendleton's main hall, each step echoing in the vast space. Robert Bobby Daniels moved slowly, his left leg stiff and uncooperative, his 73-year-old frame bent with the weight of decades. Behind him, 3 young Marines whispered and snickered, their fresh uniforms still creased with newness, their confidence built on youth and physical perfection. Before we go any further, I want to connect with you. Where are you watching this story from right now? Drop your country name in the comments and let me know you're here. And if you already sense something powerful is about to happen, go ahead and hit that like button because what unfolds next will give you chills. The occasion was a ceremony honoring Marine veterans, and Bobby had almost not come. His daughter had insisted, practically begging him to attend, to be recognized for his service. But Bobby had never been one for attention. He'd spent 50 years after Vietnam working as a mechanic, raising 3 kids alone after his wife passed, and trying to forget the things that still woke him up at night. The young Marines. Corporal Jake Stevens and his 2 buddies couldn't understand why someone so broken down would even show up. "Look at Grandpa over there," Stevens muttered, loud enough to be heard. "Probably got those crutches from a VA handout. My grandfather served too, but at least he can still walk right." His friends laughed, the casual cruelty of those who'd never truly been tested. Bobby heard them. How could he not? But he'd heard worse. Much worse. Words from enemies, screams from friends, silence from brothers who'd never come home. 3 young men mocking his crutches barely registered compared to carrying the weight of memories that never got lighter. The ceremony began with typical military precision. Rows of white folding chairs filled with veterans of different eras, their bodies marked by time and service. The base commander spoke about sacrifice and honor, words that felt both meaningful and hollow depending on what you'd seen. Bobby sat in the back row as he always preferred, trying to be invisible. Then Lieutenant General Thomas McKinley took the stage. 3 stars gleaming on his shoulder, chest decorated with ribbons that told stories of decades in service. His presence commanded instant silence, the kind of respect that comes from leading men in actual combat, not just in training exercises. "Today we honor many heroes," McKinley began, his voice carrying the gravel of authority. "But I want to tell you about one man in particular, a man whose call sign became legend in Vietnam, a name whispered with reverence by those who served, and with fear by those who faced him." Here's where this story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Think about a time when you judged someone too quickly, only to discover you were completely wrong. Share that story in the comments below, and if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now because we tell stories that will change how you see the world. McKinley's eyes scanned the crowd until they found Bobby, sitting quietly in the back, trying to disappear into his chair. "That man is here today. Staff Sergeant Robert Daniels. Call sign Ghost." The room went still. Every veteran over 50 years old sat up straighter. Younger Marines looked confused, but the older ones, the ones who knew their history, their eyes widened with recognition. Corporal Stevens felt his stomach drop. "Ghost," McKinley continued, his voice thick with emotion, "earned his name during the siege of Khe Sanh. While most men were trying to survive, Ghost volunteered for the most dangerous missions, solo reconnaissance deep into enemy territory, extraction missions that command considered suicide. He'd disappear into the jungle for days, and the enemy thought he was a spirit because he'd materialize out of nowhere, complete objectives that seemed impossible, and vanish again." Bobby's hands gripped his crutches tighter, his jaw set. He didn't want this. Didn't want to be examined, celebrated, or remembered for things he'd tried to bury. On March 18, 1968, McKinley's voice cracked slightly. Ghost went into a hot zone to extract a downed pilot. The entire area was overrun. Command had written off the pilot as KIA, but Ghost went anyway. He carried that pilot 3 miles through enemy lines, took shrapnel in his leg and back, and refused medical evacuation until the pilot was safely aboard the helicopter. The general paused, letting the weight of those words settle. That shrapnel is still in his body. It's why he needs those crutches. It's the price he paid for saving a life. Stevens wanted to disappear, wanted to melt into the floor. His face burned with shame. "That pilot," McKinley said, his voice now openly emotional, "was my father, Captain James McKinley. Ghost saved him that day, and because of that I exist. My children exist. Everything I am, everything I've accomplished, exists because one man refused to leave a brother behind, even when it cost him his mobility for the rest of his life. The general stepped down from the podium and walked directly to Bobby. The old veteran struggled to stand, crutches scraping, but McKinley gently stopped him. Instead, the three-star general knelt before him, tears streaming down his decorated face, and simply said, "Thank you, Ghost, for everything." The room erupted in applause. Veterans stood, some crying openly, others saluting. Young Marines who moments ago had been laughing now understood they were in the presence of someone whose sacrifice had written history in blood and courage. Stevens approached Bobby after the ceremony, his voice shaking. "Sir, I'm sorry. I had no idea." Bobby looked at him with eyes that had seen too much but somehow still held kindness. "Son, you couldn't have known. But let me teach you something today. Those crutches, these scars, this broken body, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof that I was there, that I stood up when it mattered. You don't judge a warrior by how they look in peace. You honor them for what they sacrificed in war. This story isn't just about one man. It's about the countless heroes walking among us, their scars hidden, their stories untold, their sacrifices forgotten by those too young or too comfortable to understand. If this story moved you, if it made you think differently about the elderly veteran you passed on the street or the person struggling on crutches, then I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with everyone you know, because stories like Ghosts deserve to be told, remembered, and honored. Comment below and tell me about a veteran in your life who deserves recognition. Let's fill this comment section with gratitude instead of ignorance. Until next time, remember that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they walk with crutches and carry their valor in silence.